3. What Revelation 13:18 reveals about English and history. Revelation 13:18, New International Version, NIV in parentheses. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. Revelation 13:18, King James Version, KJV in parentheses. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Out of the many English translations of the Bible, the New International Version and the King James Version are the most encoded. In the case of the KJV, it is believed by many historians to be authored by Francis Bacon. As we have mentioned, he was a practitioner of Gematria and a highly influential man in history, which we'll learn about in chapter 10. Some think he is the true persona behind the pen name William Shakespeare. A major reason for this belief is because of a riddle that exists in the King James Bible of 1611, the year of its first publishing. In Psalm 46 of that same text, the 46th word is shake, and the 46th word from the end is spear. In Gematria, there is something too. 46 equals 46, R in parentheses. Star, religion equals 46, RR in parentheses. Very quickly, let me reveal something interesting about the name William Shakespeare. In light of what we covered last chapter with regards to Freemasonry and the Holy Bible and the number 187, please also note this revelation is but one of many fascinating things about the most famous name when it comes to English authors and the English language. William equals 79, star William Shakespeare equals 79 reduction. Shakespeare equals 108, star geometry equals 108. William Shakespeare equals 187, O in parentheses. Even more interesting, there is overlap with the name Francis and the name William Shakespeare. Notice below both names sum to 119. Also important in ordinal gematria, the word all-seeing eye sums to 119. What is a symbol of power, and extremely important to the Masonic Brotherhood, which Francis Bacon and King James were both part of. Even more, in ordinal gematria, Orthodox and Star of David equate to 119 as well, a number that we will come to time and time again as we progress. Francis equals 119 RO in parentheses, reverse ordinal. William equals 47, star 47 degrees on the Freemason compasses. Shakespeare equals 72. William Shakespeare equals 119. Reverse or reduction, P equals 11. If you are familiar with the Star of David as pictured to the left, it is a six-pointed star with a hexagon in the middle that is six-sided and containing six equilateral triangles. Thus, the symbol contains a hidden tribute to the number 666. If you look closely, you can see that the Star of David, traditionally known as the Seal of Solomon, is two equilateral triangles, symmetrically overlapping. Think of the two three-sided objects as a physical representation of the number 33. Ahead, we will bring 33 and the number 666 together very concretely, as they have much in common. On the subject of 666, Psalm 46 in the King James Bible of 1611, the same psalm, seemingly paying tribute to what very well be Francis Bacon's pen name, Shakespeare, leaves exactly 666 remaining chapters. What is the number of focus from the most infamous verse in the Bible, Revelation 13:18, from the 66th and concluding book? Of course, in the verse it states the man with wisdom will solve the number, and Francis Bacon, as well as William Shakespeare, were both certainly men of wisdom. Before we uncover the verse 666, I want to show you something interesting about the Gematria of Holy Bible, as well as Shakespeare. In light of the KJV being published in 1611, the year King James turned 45 years old, as we just learned, 45 is a number that has to do with geometry, and once again, Gematria is geometry in language, based in the Holy Bible. As a Kabbalist would tell you, God is the master mathematician, operating through numbers that manifest in our own lives, that when studied and interpreted, guide us to truth. In chapter 6, we'll learn about the belief that God created life with the circle. Holy Bible equals 45 reduction. Holy Bible equals 45 reverse reduction. Star. Geometry equals 45 reduction. Geometro equals 45 reduction. Shakespeare equals 45 reduction. Admire the perfect symmetry. Holy Bible equates to 45 forwards and backwards, similar to how geometry sums to 108 forwards and backwards. And please pay mind to the fact that the name Shakespeare also equates to 45 and 108. In the next chapter, you'll learn how Holy Bible also equates to 405, and so does Shakespeare, a number encapsulating the same key digits. For more relevance to the number prior to the King James Bible, Johann Gutenberg had crafted the first published Bible in the world in the mid-1400s. The last name Gutenberg sums to 45 as well, and the title Gutenberg Bible sums to 66, same as the number of books contained within, 66, which is just the same with the KJV. Gutenberg equals 45, Bible equals 21. Gutenberg Bible equals 66, reduction, star. Next chapter you'll learn how Gutenberg sums to 666. Keep in mind, King James was born on June 19, in the year 1566. Emphasis on 66. In our chapter on rigged sports by the numbers, we'll talk about how LeBron James, having the nickname King James, won the first NBA championship for the city of Cleveland on June 19, 2016. What would have been the real King James's 450th birthday, while the team he was playing for was named the Cavaliers. In history, the son of King James, Charles I, is where the name Cavaliers originates. Cavaliers were those who supported and fought on his behalf. Appropriately, the name LeBron sums to 66 using the ordinal method, and LeBron James equates to 66 using the reverse reduction method. LeBron equals 66 ordinal, LeBron equals 33, James equals 33, LeBron James equals 66 reverse reduction. To be clear about these calculations, I'm not saying Shakespeare, Gutenberg, or LeBron James are the beast. I am only showing you how these riddles are purposefully interjected into our mainstream culture, and something much deeper is taking place than right before our eyes. As for the Gematria of 33, for LeBron and James, please also notice how it syncs with his city and the title of the NBA's championship. Again, the number 33 is very central to the Bible and the number 666. Cleveland equals 33 reduction. NBA Finals equals 33 reduction. Now notice how the number 33 is encoded in the Gematria of the word Bible. Keep in mind, when LeBron James won the NBA Finals, it was on a Sunday, the day most good Christians take their Bibles to church, a day also equating to 33. For good measure, let us also decode the words Gospels and believe, the latter of which has the word lie right in the middle. And as we have covered, there is a certain group playing God with lies. Bible equals 33 reverse reduction. Good book equals 33 reverse reduction. Sunday equals 33 reverse reduction. Genesis equals 33 reduction. Gospels equals 33 reverse reduction. Believe equals 33 reduction. The year James won the NBA Finals for Cleveland was 2016. And again, Cleveland is home of the 216 area code, where 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. The final game in Cleveland that year, Game 6, ended in a combined score of 216 points. The Cavaliers winning 115 to 101 over the Golden State Warriors. That year, ESPN also reported LeBron James was the first NBA player to go to 6 straight NBA Finals since '66, when Bill Russell accomplished the same feat. He began that streak while playing in Miami and wearing the number 6. For the record, Miami equates to 45 in ordinal, our Holy Bible number. You'll also notice the clever 666 tribute ESPN paid respects to in the accomplishment. Next chapter, you'll learn how the NBA Finals, as well as basketball game, equate to 666 too, same as the word prophecy. You'll also learn how Gutenberg sums to 666, again, the first author of the first published Bible. As we mentioned in the first chapter, the words humanity and Genesis equate to 666 as well. And it is Genesis where man is created on the 6th day. In Genesis 6:6, it is where God regrets creating mankind. ... Genesis 6:6, New International Version, NIV in parentheses. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Genesis 6:6, King James Version, KJV in parentheses. And it represented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Not by chance, the word mankind sums to 66, using ordinal gematria. Think about it. God regrets making mankind in Genesis 6:6, who was created on the 6th day. Mankind equals 66 ordinal. So what is about the number 6? As mentioned in the first chapter, the number 6 is a perfect number. What a perfect number is where the divisors of the number equate to the number itself. For example, the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 6 divide into 6. When you calculate for a perfect number, you add all the dividers, except for the one that is the number itself. So in the case of 6, that means you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. The Greeks who classified the term perfect number were only aware of 4. Those were numbers 6, 28, 496, and 8,128. To date, perfect numbers are still being discovered, with the latest discovery coming in 2016, and it being the 49th total perfect number found. The 49th perfect number is 74,207,281. What is interesting about the number 28 being the second perfect number is how it connects to the word man. Using ordinal gematria, man equates to 28, and God crafts man on the 6th and final day of creation, before the day of rest perfectly. As you are likely aware, out of the machines existing in the world, man is the most perfect. If the perfection of the machine that is man hasn't dawned on you before, consider how many beats a heart makes in one lifetime and how the body can heal from injuries and imperfections. These are only a few things that are magnificent about us. If you are also considering all things that are very wrong about man, from greed to honesty, remember much of that has to do with unwanted environment we are born into, which is what we will change as people when we collectively see the agenda being waged against us that is meant to corrupt all that is righteous and just from a young age for all of us. Putting my simple sermon aside, let us now unlock the simple mathematics behind the word man. Man equals 28 ordinal, man created on the 6th day, in parentheses, 28, the second perfect number, in parentheses. On the subject of perfection in numbers, the word number also sums to 28 in reduction. Again, numbers are equated with God because God is seen as perfect and calculated, at least to the Kabbalists. And even more, as we read in Genesis 1:26, man was made in the image of God. Related, when we get to the chapter on murder by numbers, new meanings will be garnered for the expression, your number is up. Number equals 28, reduction. If you write out the numbers 1 through 100 as words, only 2 sum to 156 using the ordinal method, and 156 is a number that will lead us right into Revelation 13:18, which is the subject of this chapter, about wisdom and the number of the beast. The number of a man, those two numbers are 28 and 33. Before we decode the spelling of the two numbers, you should first know the significance of 33 in regards to we people who have 33 vertebrae in our spine. Using reduction gematria, both people and person equate to this sacred number, and so does goyim. People equals 33 reduction, person equals 33 reduction, goyim equals 33 reduction. Goyim is a name for a non-Jewish person, in parentheses. In numerology terms, 33 can be broken down to 6, where 3 plus 3 is 6, and corresponding with the 6th day of creation, from Genesis, which also sums to 33, as we learned in last chapter. As I mentioned in the first chapter, the Kundalini from the Far East are credited with the spiritual belief about the spiritual ascension of man, traveling up the 33 vertebrae of the human spine. According to Manly P. Hall, it is this ancient belief from the Kundalini that the significance of 33 is derived from in the Brotherhood of Freemasonry. Thus, why the House of the Temple in DC has 33 pillars, each 33 feet tall. Again, the body is the temple, as expressed in the Bible and elsewhere. Using reverse reduction gematria, Kundalini also sums to 58, just the same as Freemasonry and biblical. Kundalini equals 58, reverse reduction. Even more interesting, the spine of the keyboard in typing, also known as the home row, which are the letters A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, equates to 33 using the same reduction method. A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L equals 33 in reduction. On the subject of the keyboard, there is a clear parallel to computers worth mentioning. In 1984, Apple released its first consumer computer with the curious price of $666. As you'll learn in Chapter 4, both computer and internet equate to 666, the number of the beast. If you are familiar with the story from Genesis of Adam and Eve, it was biting the forbidden fruit, often represented as the apple that soared the course of mankind. In light of that, think about Apple's logo, the company, with a bite missing. Of course, the path of the descent in the story of Adam and Eve then continues with their offspring, Cain and Abel, where Cain slays Abel out of jealousy, causing him to be marked by God. Cain equals 27, and equals 19, Abel equals 20, Cain and Abel equals 66 ordinal. Also relevant, if you write out the word 33, it totals 66 using reduction, syncing with the 66 value of mankind, who God washed away with the flood. In the start of the Bible, that again is 66 books in length, beginning with Genesis 33. For the record, the word seed in ordinal sums to 33, and the word birth in reverse reduction equates to 33 as well. These words are connected to the beginnings, just the same as the name Genesis, which again means in the beginning, as we covered it last chapter. In case you have forgotten, in the beginning, using the ordinal method equates to 137. What is the 33rd prime number? The sacred one. 33 equals 66 reduction. Now let us sum the values of 28 and 33, numbers connecting to we people, and we'll see how the derived values of 156 play right into Revelation 13, 18, and what is coded within terms of the number 666, as well as the number of a man. 28 equals 156 ordinal, 33 equals 156 ordinal, 666 equals 156 ordinal. The equals 33, number equals 73, of equals 21, a equals 1, man equals 28. The number of a man equals 156 ordinal. To further establish the significance of the number and its relationship with the number 33, the calendar year factors in. The 33rd day, February 2nd, known as Groundhog's Day, comes to 156 when written out as February 2nd. February equals 96, 2nd equals 60, February 2nd equals 156 ordinal. Star. Later you'll learn why the Dow Jones fell 666 points on February 2nd, 2018. Also related, in the chapters on September 11, we'll discuss how 9/11 is the 156th prime number and how the towers existed for 33 years, from 1968 to 2001. But were only open for 28 years, from 1973 to 2001. We'll also learn how New York sums to 666 in Chapter 4, plus more, including the construction firm for the World Trade Centers having named Gematria of none other than 156. That same number connects to the words architect and Metatron's cube, a geometric shape that is said to represent the Creator and all that exists in this world we share. In Chapter 4, we'll also uncover how the word God equates to 156 as well, reminding that duality is the crucial concept. Architect equals 156, reverse ordinal. Metatrons equals 125. Cube equals 31. Metatron's cube equals 156, ordinal. In Chapter 6, we'll learn in depth about Metatron's cube and sacred geometry, which is very much related to the gematria of the English language. Again, this code is all about geometry, mathematics, and symmetry that encapsulates the world we live within, especially the duality. On the subject, as above so below, also equates to 156. As equals 20, above equals 45, so equals 34, below equals 57. As above, so below equals 156 ordinal. For the time being, I want you to know this much about Metatron's cube, which symbolizes creation. To the left is a drawing of the object, which contains shapes known as the 5 Platonic solids. Chapter 6 will uncover these 5 unique shapes, thought by the Greeks, namely Pythagoras, Plato, and Euclid, as well as their students and followers known as Platonists, to be the shapes that represented the matter making up all of existence. You can also see the Star of David, or Seal of Solomon, is contained within the object as well, having its own independent tribute to 666. If you count the circles, you will notice there are 13. There are 6 circles on the outermost area, another grouping of 6 within that, and then one last circle in the middle. The number 13 is also the 6th prime number, and here we are talking about the riddle with the Revelation 13:18. What is the 13th chapter of Revelation? The 18th verse, and of course 18 factors into 6 plus 6 plus 6. As a reminder, it was the Greeks who wrote the New Testament, which concludes with Revelation, and who built much of their culture around numbers, from spirituality to regular activities to pass the time. As mentioned in the first chapter, one of these activities was Isopsephy, summing to 666, what is known as Sumerian Gematria. A topic for Chapter 4, as review. Isopsephy is exactly what is expressed in Revelation 13:18, where a number is given, along with written clues for the reader to solve. Well, Truth Seeker, we have solved it. Revelation 13:18 is pointing to what is true about all of us. Within all of us is good and evil, and it is up to us to choose what we bring into this world. In the God body, which we all possess, we are given a moral compass, and we can feel what is right and wrong. But as strange as this world is, despite knowing right from wrong, we sometimes choose wrong anyway. This is where wisdom comes into play. The one who is wise will choose what is righteous instead of choosing what is sinful. And this is exactly what is expressed in Revelation 13:18. Not only will the wise person calculate the number, they'll calculate the decision of their life to make sure they stay on the righteous path and bring what is right into the world instead of the contrary, whenever it is possible to do so. As you know, Truth Seeker, it isn't always easy. For a funny fact about your teacher, my 6th birthday was July 21st, 1989. Same day the film Do the Right Thing came out. If you've ever seen it, the ending is ironic. Now let us read Revelation 13:18 one more time, focusing on the King James Version, which is far and above the most fascinating in terms of what is coded within. There is a secret message here about those with wisdom, revealing those who do not know how to calculate the number of the beast. That points directly to the Kabbalah, the tyrants in high places, keeping important secrets from we the people, who are routinely tormented with this knowledge, unknowingly from September 11 to what took place on October 1, 2017, at the Las Vegas Strip shooting. Two separate events that are part of one beast-driven agenda, if you will. Next chapter, you'll learn how to calculate October and concert to 666. And later, when we uncover a history of monumental false flags, we'll talk about how the country musician performing during the time of the October 1, 2017 shooting, Jason Aldean, was performing 216 days from his past birthday. What once, again, is the product of 6 times 6 times 6, and certainly not by coincidence. Now, without further ado, an encore for Revelation 13:18. Revelation 13:18, King James Version, KJV in parentheses. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. First, I want to decode the opening sentence, here is wisdom. Then I want to decode the number of a man, using the reduction method for both. I also want to decode 42 months and New Testament, using reverse reduction method. If you have read Revelation, it states the beast 666 will rule for 42 months, a number of extreme significance that we will learn much about ahead. Here is wisdom equals 66 reduction. The number of a man equals 66 reduction. 42 months equals 66 reverse reduction. New Testament equals 66 reverse reduction. As you can see, now we have a greater collection of 66, one digit shy of 666. Again, these words and phrases are contained within what is the 66th book of most Bibles, Revelation, which concludes the New Testament. If you're not familiar with the first book of the New Testament, it is Matthew, a name that has the word math within it. And as should be understood by now, the Bible is a book of numbers and mathematics with the meaning hidden from the reader in riddles, no different than Isopsephy. Let's decode the name Matthew as well as math to bring the picture into clear focus. Matthew equals 27 reduction. Matthew is the first of 27 books in the New Testament, in all published Bibles. Bibles that are longer than 66 books. It is because there are more chapters in the Old Testament what the Jewish faith goes by. Next up, we'll decode math, forwards and backwards. Math equals 42, ordinal. Math equals 66, reverse ordinal. If you have never read the New Testament, it begins with the 42 generations to Jesus before concluding with the 66th book. The first 4 books of the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are the story of Jesus Christ known as the Gospel, or Gospels. Notice what happens when we decode New Testament with the reduction method, and the word new alone with ordinal. New Testament equals 42, reduction. New equals 42, ordinal. If you have a Bible in your home, please take a moment to go read from the start of the NT, the book of Matthew. As they say, seeing is believing. Later we'll discuss why the book of Luke states there are 77 generations to Jesus, as both the numbers 42 and 77 have much to do with Jesus Christ, as well as Freemasonry. And as I've been saying, there is no doubt Freemasonry has had its hidden hands on the English translations of the Holy Bible and the English language. For further proof of this fact, let's now do a little more decoding on Revelation 13:18, because there are many hidden things about this passage, much of which I will leave for you, the person with wisdom, to solve on your own. But before I hand you the keys, let's go back to the opening sentence of the verse. Here is wisdom. The numbers behind the words point straight to the brotherhood. Here equals 36, is equals 28, wisdom equals 83. Here is wisdom equals 147, ordinal. Freemasonry equals 147, reverse ordinal. Conspiracy equals 147, reverse ordinal. Next chapter you'll learn how the number 147 equates to sin and war, among other things in satanic gematria. If you look up the specifics on the White House in Washington, D.C., you'll discover it has exactly 147 windows, and certainly not by coincidence. Consider the building is located in a city named after a war general that helped genocide the Bible-free native people that once inhabited the same continent. Speaking of which, let's decode the words manifest destiny, as well as empire. Manifest equals 33. Destiny equals 33. Manifest destiny equals 66. Reduction. Empire equals 66. Ordinal. Consider it was CC 33 Christopher Columbus, a Jewish person paid for by the Catholic Church. The CC who called the natives Indian and who wrote in his journal about how easy it was to kill the men, due to their outdated technology, and how it was even easier to rape the women and take them for slaves. If you've never read how Zinn's A People's History of the United States, these journal entries are captured within. And to think in the United States of America we celebrate this killer, this rapist, this horrible human being, with an annual holiday in October, the lone 33 month, and not by accident. Indian equals 33, reduction. Americas equals 33, reduction. October equals 33, reduction. October also sums to 666, star, in the next chapter. For the record, if you have ever looked at the word history, it should make you ask, his story. Whose story exactly? Fortunately, by knowing the code, the answer is easily revealed in seconds flat. History equals 42, reduction. Freemason equals 42, reduction. Destiny equals 42, reduction, with S equals 10. As for the 447 windows on the White House, in the city that is headquarters to the 33rd degree types, they're trying to give us a peek into their world of numbers and hidden symbolism. Just for kicks, notice the gematria of U.S. President and President of the United States, and how nicely the two related titles tie together. U.S. President equals 147, reverse ordinal. President equals 52. Of the equals 18. United States equals 77. President of the United States equals 147, reverse reduction. Just wait until the chapter on Trump and presidents. The number 147 is used often in rituals meant to deceive the general public, who pay for the president's salary and all the federal operations of this nation. It is pure sin, and it must be put to an end, not by coincidence. The right-hand man to the presidents for seemingly the last 100 years has been Henry Kissinger, the most evil Zionist alive, or he has been called by some. Born on May 27, the 147th day of the year. Keep in mind, the Bible concludes by saying the false Jews will rule in the end times. More on that in just a moment. But just the day before Kissinger's 94th birthday, in 2017, the man who served next in line to him was found dead. This was no coincidence, as 94 and 147 are numbers sharing a very special relationship. It is Revelation 9:4 that is the 147th verse of the chapter. 94 equals 147. Now, to conclude with the most important part about Revelation 13:18, we must first read from Revelation 3:9 about the false Jews who are liars and who will have gained power over the people of the world before the return of the Lord. Revelation 3:9, King James Version, KJV in parentheses. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. This passage comes from a letter written to the Church of Philadelphia. Again, the name of the original capital of the United States of America. As promised in chapter 1, I will now reveal to you what is so special about this name. After doing so, it will set up the most important piece to know about the encoding of Revelation 13:18. Let us now decode Philadelphia with what is all four of the base methods from the last chapter. Philadelphia, 65 reduction. In reduction gematria, Christianity and Knights Templar each equate to 65 as well. Again, it was the Knights Templar who once secured the Kabbalah code around the same time English was first coming into the world as a language. It is also the Knights Templar who requires their numbers to be of the Christian faith. Philadelphia equals 101, ordinal. As you learned, the number 101 is the 26th prime and is corresponding with the words Christian in ordinal and church in reverse ordinal. Here we are talking about the Church of Philadelphia from the Aegean region of Turkey. Philadelphia equals 61. In ordinal gematria, the word church sums to 61. What is the 18th prime number, factoring into 6 plus 6 plus 6. For your own practice, please decode the words Jesus, cross, Christian, and Christmas, using the base ciphers. They are but a small group of words having gematria of 61 that pertain to Christianity. And on the subject of 666, Jesus Christ in ordinal gematria sums to 151 as well. The number 151 is the 36th prime number, and it has a direct mathematical relationship to 666. The number 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning if you sum 1 through 36 together, it totals 666. Also pertinent, the name Jesus in reduction gematria sums to 11. Jesus equals 11 reduction. Notice the 151 sequence, like Jesus Christ equals 151. Number 66 is the 11th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 11, it totals 66. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible, concluding the New Testament, is about the return of Jesus Christ. Not by surprise, the word resurrection in reduction also sums to the number 66. There's a whole lot more to this riddle, but we'll save it for later. Resurrection equals 66 reduction. Now the final decode for Philadelphia, which is reverse ordinal, will lead us straight into the most significant part of the encoding of Revelation 13:18. Philadelphia equals 223, reverse ordinal. In the letter to the Church of Philadelphia and elsewhere in the Bible and Revelation, it states, the Synagogue of Satan, who are the false Jews, who are the liars, will rule in the end times before the return of Jesus. Using ordinal gematria, the Synagogue of Satan sums to 223. Next chapter, you'll also learn how Masonic sums to 223. In the Las Vegas false flag, on the weekend of Yom Kippur, where one is atoned for their sins, the most important Jewish holy day, it came precisely 223 months to the day after the hotel where the shooting took place opened, March 2nd, 1999. This number, what is the 48th prime, is paramount to this study. In both Hebrew and in English, the word Freemason has gematria of 48, as we'll get to. Now let us decode the Synagogue of Satan. The equals 33. Synagogue equals 114. Parentheses, the synagogue equals 147. Of equals 21. Satan equals 55. The Synagogue of Satan equals 223. Ordinal. Star. Next chapter you'll learn how sin equates to 147. Sin equals 147 in Satanic. Knowing the significance of 223, let us now decode the most crucial line in Revelation 13:18, which reads as follows: Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. We will use our bread and butter method, reduction gematria. Let him equals 31, that hath equals 32, understanding equals 60, count equals 19, the number equals 43, of the beast equals 38. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast equals 223. So that is who has the understanding, truth seeker. It is the Synagogue of Satan, who has established the Catholic Church, Zionist Israel, and the U.S. If you're not aware, the Torah does not permit the Jewish people to have their own state. So surely the people of Israel are not the real Jews, but are the false Jews. In the Talmud, it says that 6 million Jews must die for the land of Israel to be reclaimed. If you're not aware, from the time just before the First World War, all the way up until the start of the Second World War, it was printed hundreds of times over in newspapers across the globe that 6 million Jews had died in some corner of the world, or 6 million Jews were on the verge of dying. The lie about the death of 6 million Jews did not stick with the people of the world until after the conclusion of World War II. Remember how the beast rules for 42 months. They say the Holocaust began in 1942, an interesting year which connects to war, World War, and much more. In Hebrew, Adolf Hitler sums to 42, and in English, Holocaust sums to both 33 and 42. Reminding of the year Nazis came to power, 33, where Nazis also sum to 33, along with Zyklon B, the chemical blamed for the fictional Holocaust that never happened, and there isn't a single shred of evidence that it did, outside of Zionist mainstream lies in Zionist-controlled media and Zionist-controlled Hollywood. Holocaust equals 33 reduction. Holocaust equals 42 reduction S equals 10. Zyklon B equals 33 reduction. Zyklon B equals 42 reduction K equals 11. Nazis equals 33 reduction S equals 10. Hollywood equals 33 reverse reduction. In case you did not know, Holocaust means burnt animal sacrifice. So ask yourself, why would that name be chosen even if it was true? It is horrific. I am aware that many people become horribly offended when they are told the Holocaust never occurred. If this is the case for you, please research the papers and the claims of 6 million deceased Jews. The claims were in print for decades in the United States and elsewhere. The lies are verifiable, and they are lies that need to be brought to the surface. If you are Jewish, you are not guilty for these lies. Only a certain group of Jews are, who think they have the right to play God over all of us. It must end. At the same time, ask why these same Hollywood Jews don't make an annual movie about the genocide of the natives, waged by the Jewish leadership, which actually did happen. How about the Bolshevik revolution, also waged by the Jewish leadership? The Armenians. let's get a little diversity, eh? For one last important nugget, the other crucial reference to 666 in the Bible is in regards to gold and money. If you're not aware of who controls the Federal Reserve of the United States, it's the most important bank in the world. It is a collection of private Jewish bankers. They are the same people who control the mainstream media across the globe. In October 2017, they reported the United States was running a $666 billion deficit for the fiscal year. In the next chapter, you'll learn how the month of October equates to 666, as well as dollar sign and business. In case you're not aware, our economy is completely fake, and all reporting is by the code you are now learning. The report of the deficit came on the date with 47 numerology, corresponding with the ordinal gematria of beast. That was October 20, 2017. Now let's read from 2 Chronicles 9:13. 2 Chronicles 9:13, New International Version, NIV in parentheses. The weight of the gold that Solomon received yearly was 666 talents. That is in reference to King Solomon, the most important Masonic figure who occupied the most beautiful temple the world had ever known. In the Bible, it is sex that ultimately destroys Solomon, who is obsessed with women that are lured to him because of his riches. Let's now decode the word sex using reduction to see how the digits within the word break down to 1, 5, and 6, very much like 156, our numbers sharing this significant relationship with 666. As they say, sex sells. Sex equals 1 plus 5 plus 6 in reduction. If we decode sex with the reverse ordinal, it sums to 33, our other number connected to 156 as covered. The math is as follows. Sex equals 8 plus 22 plus 3 equals 33, reverse ordinal. Think about these words, playboy and porno. Playboy equals 33 reduction, porno equals 33 reduction. On pornographic material, the 3 letters XXX are often displayed. X is the 24th letter, which means in reduction X becomes 6 because 24 is 2 plus 4 equals 6. Thus, XXX is also the same as 666. As you can see, the more you learn, the more the code makes sense, and the more eye-opening the things we take for granted in this world become. To bring this back to mathematics, if you count the first 144 decimal points of pi and add them together, they equate to 666. In Revelation 13, it says only those who have the mark of the beast will be able to buy and sell. If you decode mark of the beast using ordinal gematria, it sums to 144. In Revelation 7:4 and Revelation 14:1, the number 144,000 is referenced. Later we will learn about 144, another very special number. For now, just appreciate the mathematics between 144 and 666 and how they connect pi and geometry.